Assalamualaikum. Today I will present my video presentation with the title of Horizontal and Vertical Analysis between Bank Islam and Bahrain Islamic Bank for Audited Account Financial Year End 2018. For the purpose of this assessment, I have chosen two banks which are Bank Islam, which adopts the IFRS reporting standard, and Bahrain Islamic Bank, which adopts the ROFE standards. The latest financial statement available is for 2018, and I will assess both financial by using the horizontal and vertical analysis as well as ratio analysis. By definition, horizontal analysis, also known as trend analysis, whereby we analyze the changes between years. For vertical analysis, in the income statement, or now known as statement of comprehensive income, each item is listed as a percentage of total sales. For balance sheet, or now known as statement of financial position, each item is listed as a percentage of respective totals. For example, current assets against total assets, current liabilities against total liabilities, equity against total equity. In this slide, I have calculated the analysis for both Bank Islam and Bahrain Islamic Bank, and the results are as shown. Based on the statement comprehensive income for each bank, at a glance we can see that both banks have shown improvement in their financial in year 2018 as compared to 2017. Bank Islam has managed to increase its profit before zakat and tax by 6% from roughly Ringgit Malaysia 767 million in 2017 to Ringgit Malaysia 810 million in 2018, which was contributed by the significant increase in its revenue during the year. As for Bahrain Islamic Bank, they have managed to record improvement in its profit before impairment by 24% from Bahrain dollar 16 million in 2017 to Bahrain dollar 20 million in 2018, which was also contributed by the significant increase in its revenue, particularly income from investment sukuk by 59%. As for their total expenses, Bahrain Islamic Bank have higher expenses versus sales percentage by 55% in 2018, while Bank Islam's total expenses only constitute about 26% in 2018. One of the reasons why Bahrain Islamic Bank reported higher total expenses is that Bahrain Islamic Bank recognized depreciation of leased assets in their books, which is in accordance to ROFE accounting standards. Bank Islam only recognizes its employee or personnel expenses as the bank's expenses. If we were to exclude the depreciation costs, both banks have almost similar personnel or staff costs that ranges between 24% to 29% of its respective sales during the year. As for the statement of financial position, the total assets for both banks have increased in tandem with their improvement in financials during the year. Bank Islam has managed to record total assets of Ringgit Malaysia 63 billion in year 2018, which is an increase by 11%, while Bahrain Islamic Bank has managed to register total assets of Bahrain dollar 1.3 trillion in year 2018, a slight increase by 4%. The major contributor in Bank Islam's total assets are from financing and advances, which constitute 71% of the bank's assets, while as for Bahrain Islamic Bank, the major contributor is coming from financing assets, which constitute 45% of the bank's total asset for 2018. This shows the major differences in financial reporting between IFRS or MFRS with ROFE standards, whereby under IFRS or MFRS, the substance or economic value is more preferable as compared to legal form, while the ROFE recognizes otherwise. As such, the IFRS or MFRS will record the financing amount or outstanding of their respective clients based on different type of Islamic contract being used in the financing, while ROFE will record the fair value of the leased asset owned by the bank as their assets. Liabilities of a bank is mainly derived from deposits or investment accounts placed by customers or borrowing from other banks. Noted that bulk of the total liabilities of Bank Islam is derived from deposit placement. It's about 85%. And for Bahrain Islamic Bank, about 35% of their total liabilities is derived from customers' current account. These obligations to the bank, as the bank is using the deposit placed by customers for their financing activities, and they are obliged to return the fund as and when the customers requested it without any delay. There is another difference in statement of financial position between both banks. Bahrain Islamic Bank added another item right before the owner's equity, which is the equity of investment account holder. This is one of the unique features under our fee reporting standards, whereby this item is meant to reflect how much equity does the investment account holders contributed to the bank. The bank's equity, also called the owner's equity, is separated with equity of investment account holders, since the bank does not have any rights on the equity portion. Noted that Bank Islam has managed to record higher net worth of Ringgit Malaysia 5.2 billion in 2018, which is an increase of 11% from previous year. However, Bahrain Islamic Bank's net worth has slightly dropped by 4% from Bahrain dollar 122 million in 2018 to Bahrain dollar 117 million in 2017, which was mainly due to lesser reserve recognized in year 2018. There is a drop in reserve by 44% from previous year. That's all for the financial analysis for both banks. Now we move to the ratio analysis. Normally, we will use the standard set of financial ratios calculation in order for us to make comparisons and for better decision making. We can still use the standard ratios for Islamic banks, but there are a few additional ratios which will assist for better comparison between Islamic banks. And among the ratios are earning asset to total assets. This ratio meant to show how the banks utilize its asset to generate income. The higher the ratio, the better it is. Noted that both banks, Bank Islam and Bahrain Islamic Bank, recorded high percentage, with Bank Islam ranging between 70% to 73%, while Bahrain Islamic Bank ranging between 60% to 70%. The next ratio is profit margin to average earning assets. This ratio is to indicate the bank's ability to control the spread between profit received from financing and investment and profit given to depositors and investment account holders. Noted that both banks registered nil value. The next ratio is equity capital to total assets. This is to calculate the buffer against risk of using debt and leverage by the bank. Based on the calculation, Bank Islam records between 8% to 9% of buffer, while Bahrain Islamic Bank records between 9% to 10% of buffer. The higher the value, the higher the buffer is. The next ratio is investment account to total assets. This is to show the extent of adoption of Mudharabah as the source of fund to the bank. About 61% of Bahrain Islamic Bank's source of fund is derived from Mudharabah, while only 8% of Mudharabah is being used in Bank Islam. And the last ratio is also known as deposit times capital. This is to show the extent of the bank's reliance on deposit from customers against the bank's capital. Bank Islam shows much higher percentage as compared from Mudharabah, while only 8%. Excuse me. The second last ratio is deposit times capital. This is to show the extent of the bank's reliance on deposit from customer against the bank's capital. Bank Islam shows much higher percentage as compared to Bahrain Islamic Bank. And the last ratio is financing to deposit. The ratios are quite high for both banks, with Bank Islam with 91% and Bahrain Islamic Bank of 138%. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you.